Okay, guys, non-knife related video. So I haven't been making vids for a little bit because I was in the process of moving out of my place and packing up a lot of stuff and lifting boxes and just carrying furniture, getting rid of furniture. I live in a 3-flight walk up in New York City, and I did hire a mover. I am too old to carry all this stuff, but I wanted to move some of the stuff down myself, and I was doing pretty good. I was lugging around things like for 2 weeks up and down. I was feeling pretty good, and then I just overdid it, and I actually tore my bicep tendon. So this is my right arm. It looks pretty normal. You might see a little divot right there. So I tore the long head of my bicep tendon up here, not a distal end, a proximal end. Let's see if I can show you. I don't know if that looks normal to you guys, but my bicep is normally not that big. Not that big. Here's my normal arm. You can see that the bicep is attached, right? And this is like freakishly, bulbous. I've seen worse. If you're familiar with like Matt Serra from the UFC, you know that his dropped all the way down. Mine did not. I did confirm this with an orthopedic surgeon today. I definitely ruptured my bicep tendon long head that's up here. I'm gonna follow it up with some video, some images now. Okay, folks, so if you look at this image, what happened to me is a proximal end damage, right? Not the distal end. The distal end at the bottom is more severe. Usually if you get a distal end tendon tear, you probably lose like 50% of your arm strength, and it needs surgery like immediately. You need to immediate intervention. You have to get surgery, and they're gonna anchor and stretch that distal end of the bicep like towards down below on your elbow. Mine is proximal, and it's the short head. No, not the short. It's the long head that was injured on mine. So the bicep consists of two heads, the short head, and I'll show a better image of it, and the long head. Like what happened to mine was when I was lifting the box, I felt like a pop. I mean, it was audible. It's just like they say, my injury is textbook. I heard a pop, and I actually thought that I popped my shoulder. I started slamming. I thought, I was doing like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, and I was trying to pop my shoulder back, but it wasn't. Because if you look at this image here, you see that the tendon, the long head, is attached. It's actually sandwiched to your shoulder. Here's a better image of it. It actually says here that the long head of the bicep is functionally unimportant and may rupture. You can see how thin it is over there. Now, the short head is the thicker tendon. It looks like a drumstick upside down, but you can see how much thicker the short head is. And usually, from my research, it says that usually doesn't rupture. It's always the thinner head. And you can see why. Look how thin that is. I mean, it's like a spaghetti noodle. And if you see in the image, it kind of like, it's like this is not a good image, but you can see that it's sandwiched inside, like in between bones in the shoulder. And once that tears, the muscle basically, you get like that Popeye deformity, like in my arm, where the muscle belly is retracted. Here's another shot of it. Look how thin. Look how thin that long head is. It's a noodle. So apparently it's common for this to rupture. Usually in your middle age, it'll rupture, and it can happen. It doesn't even take that much force. My doctor said it can rupture pretty easily. He said that the guy was like basically parking his motorcycle, and the motorcycle tipped over. He tried to grab it, prevent it from falling, and boom, that ruptured. It happens that easily, and it doesn't even take that much weight. And again, you got to be kind of like in your 40s and 50s. It's more common. If you're familiar with Matt Serra, he has that injury. So I want to show you this because my doctor said that you really don't need the surgery. I should get 100% of my strength back, right? It doesn't really have any long-term change. Basically, it's mostly for cosmetic purposes. If you don't like the way the Popeye muscle looks, mine doesn't look that bad. Some guys have a more severe bulbing of the muscle, and they want to get it repaired. But yeah, you're gonna fix it, and I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. But you're gonna have this huge scar on your arm, right? So it's kind of like a trade-off. You get this bulbous muscle, or you get this scar on your arm. And forgot what I was gonna say now. So my doctor said that they haven't really perfected the surgery to fix this. You can see how thin that long head is, and you can see how it's like kind of like sandwiched in between the bones in your shoulder. So they can't even simulate that. They can't replicate that. They can't fix what God created. So what they do is they actually drill holes on the bone on your arm, and they anchor the long head tendon towards, on your bone. They'll stretch it, and they can't even stretch it that bad, Yeah, my doctor said when they do the surgery, they don't actually stretch it tight. They actually leave it slightly loose because it's better loose than tight. And if you've seen guys that have had the surgery, yeah, these guys, the surgeons don't have it perfected, and it still looks kind of bulbous. Yeah, it's attached. Yes, it's anchored to the arm, via whatever they're doing, staples or they drill it in there, but it's still kind of bulbous. And I've had one or two friends that had this surgery, and it still looks like shit. I consider myself lucky that it actually doesn't look that freakishly bad. So I told my doctor I opted not to get the surgery. So I have a follow-up with him in like about a month. He says I should regain my full strength by then. If not, we're gonna, he's gonna examine it a little bit more. But yeah, man, know your limitations, gents and ladies. During the move, I was lifting boxes and bags of stuff over my head, running it down like 3 flights of stairs, thinking, I was actually feeling pretty proud that I was doing good. Hey, I'm in pretty good shape. And then, the body knows its limitations, and then it just popped. But I'm confident that the strength will come back. I even asked my doctor if I could start doing my push-ups again. He goes, wait like 2 weeks and start doing like wall push-ups. And he says in about 6 weeks, I can start banging out my push-ups like regular. Start off with the wall and then go back to my normal push-ups. And I like to do the decline push-ups, I was getting pretty good at it. So yeah, so that's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it. All right, guys, quick, I don't know if it's a quick video, but just a little bit informative video for you guys, because there's some better videos, but I just want to share with you guys what my doctor said to me during my examination, in case maybe somebody's going to Google this one day. And, surgery is sometimes not necessary, unless it's a distal bicep tendon tear, then you definitely need surgery. But something with proximal is not that serious. All right, guys. Peace.